actual studio. Just tell me a little bit about the designs, the inspiration, and all that good stuff.
Okay, so specifically those designs are made for the photo shoot, and because we were up from our last meeting when we were talking about just having just free range and just being creative, and you wanted more of an avant-garde, there really wasn't like a set connection between them two. Usually when I design, that's when I start, and it's all just like crazy and scrambled, and then end up having to find a way to connect my designs. But with this one, I really wanted it to just be different parts of who I am as a designer, because I mean, like I said, when I design, my mind is just going crazy, and there's so
Hmm.
many directions that I think of that I want to go, but in the end I have to pick one in order for my designs to be, consistent, and they follow each other. But with this one, it was really more of just kind of taking bits and pieces of what I find inspiration from, and just putting them all together. And with the black one, there's sometimes where like I feel like my designs can go in more of like a darker, um, edgier side of when I like to design, to where
Hmm.
when you saw the gold shimmery one, sequence one, that's more of like my glamorous, you know, red carpet looks of where I like to go when I
Okay.
design certain looks. So it was just so just different parts of where I gather inspiration from.
All right. Now, even with the shoot when we did it, nice pieces, the whole 9 yards, and the pictures came out beautifully. Worked real well with the model and so forth. And in general, she loved it. Just loved the pieces, and
Yeah,
everybody that saw it, they loved the pieces. So that's just a good testament to good work and what have you. And it can only get better. So that's the most important thing. What are some challenges that you
thank
deal
you.
with as a designer?
Well, now that I'm just starting off and trying to get to know the ins and out of the business, I mean, to be honest, right now designing isn't my full-time job. I still work two other jobs to, have a steady income. So as of right now, as trying to build my name, it's really the challenge is just time, because there's so much that we want to do as designers and artists, and people who are creative, but there's really just never enough time. They always say that creative people are the most unorganized, and that's
Hmm.
true, because if you see my sewing box, oh my gosh, it's a complete mess, and there's just
Hmm.
there's just like fabric and glitter and sequins and just everywhere all over my room, and it's
Hmm.
just it's I get into it and I get in the zone, and I'm starting to construct and sketch, and just have my creative side to it, but it's messy. But in the end, it's beautiful work that comes out from a big old mess. So,
What do you think are some of your biggest inspirations, though, as far as I don't care who the person is, whether they're a designer, whether they're a model, whether they're a business person, or whatever. There's always those points where you have to draw inspiration from, whether it be people, whether it be something. What do you think are your biggest driving inspirations as a designer?
my biggest inspiration would be just life in general, or I guess the lifestyle, the way people live. I want my clothes to reflect people's lifestyles. I mean, like I want to enter more of the high end, luxury market of fashion. And so when I design, I always design to where the garments can be just basically just worn and not looking crazy. Like there's sometimes where you see, garments that are walking down the runway, and you're like, oh my gosh, who's gonna wear that? It looks cool, but in reality, it's like, is somebody really gonna wear, just a bunch of feathers, to an
Hmm.
office, or just whatever the design can be. So I'm always taking in consideration and drawing inspiration as to where I feel my customer or woman that I'm trying to dress will wear this garment too. So that's my biggest inspiration.
Now you're in San Antonio, right?
Yes.
San Antonio. What's it like in San Antonio as an independent designer? What were some of the challenges being there, not being in a major fashion place like New York or even LA or anything like that?
I guess it would be trying to get people to understand what you're trying to do. Um, a lot of times when it's not a big major city, it's easier to stand out, but sometimes standing out can hurt you in a way to where people don't understand. Like they feel like you're probably trying to play dress up, or you're trying to mimic, what you see in New York and LA and Paris, Milan, and the big fashion capitals in the world. Um, and so sometimes people don't take you seriously, and it's almost like you have to keep like making, I guess, keep setting the bar higher for yourself in order
Absolutely.
to get people to understand what you're trying to do. And so especially sometimes when it's kind of hard just trying to throw yourself out there to a market that it's very small here in San Antonio, which I'm not saying there aren't those people that are going to wear, your high fashion looks, but it's just so small, and the ones that are here, can afford to go to, LA and New York and whatnot, and not necessarily, work with the big designers like Zach Posen and Oscar de la Renta, but, the smaller up-and-coming designers that are below them. So there's still, competition that we're competing with, those up-and-coming designers that are, out in the bigger cities. So it's like those people can afford to go out, and you're trying to tell them, you don't have to go out. I'm here, and you
Right.
can, just come down the street to me versus flying out, and spending the money to New York. But that's where the lifestyle comes in. It's about a lifestyle. It's, people love to be able to go out and, spend the money to go, and because it's a social thing. It's it's a way of life, and so that's I think that's probably one of the struggles here,
Okay.
being in San Antonio when it's not a big major fashion, capital. It's coming up. I mean, it's right now it's at a baby stage. So, but we're trying to get ourselves out there. So.
What are some things you have in store and planned for you for this year?
Right now, I mean, it's little goals. I try to keep it realistic. Of course, in the long run, I do want to have my own label and be a brand. But right now, in this industry, it's constantly learning, and one of the things that I want to set for myself is to be able to get, just break into the career and, a fashion label or a house or with a smaller designer, and learning how they work and how they operate their business, and just get the knowledge and the training that I want to learn for myself for when I am ready to be able to go out and do my own business in the long run.
Okay. And what advice would you give for other independent designers who are trying to fulfill some of their passions in designing good pieces, nice pieces, turn it into a business, going from being an artist on the creative side to a business? What advice would you give them?
Bottom line is, I would say, stay true to yourself when it comes to your designs. Don't try to. I'm the type of person that I don't like to follow trends. I don't like to do what everybody else is doing. Because why do you want to do something that's going to be seen on 20 other girls when there's one girl that's looking for just one thing that's going to be different. Stay true to yourself when it comes to your creativity and your designing, because in the long run, that's what's going to set you above everybody else that's doing the same look. And just know who to surround yourself with, people that you can trust and who understand you as a person and as a designer, because it's so easy to be able to. I can't tell you how. If I would have listened to every single person and instructor who told me, no, this is what you need to do, then I don't think I'd have a good head start to where I am,
Right.
now. So just stay true to yourself and surround yourself with positive and influential people that you feel are going to escalate you to where you want to be.
Well, the main thing is, for the meat and potatoes, everything you just said, I mean, that we're going to tie that together with the images. and of course